What's up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist. Y ahora aquí estoy con mi compañero.
Yeah. Gershwan.
I was gonna say like
Compadre.
compadre, compañero. And welcome back to another Spanglish intro for this series that we like to call For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And that is what Charles Winfield did. He asks, do Grandpappy Nurgle's blessings affect orcs? Yes, of course there is. We did two videos on Chaos Orcs. The most common type of Chaos Orc is actually Coronet Orcs. And that's for obvious reasons, right? Like when you think of Khorne, you think of war. Or he is the god of war. And when you think of orcs, you just think of war.
Yeah, I mean, for the greater war, war is equal to war.
Exactly. They just don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, for all you non-orcish speakers out there.
And then when it comes to Nurgle Orks, it's just an infected orc. But the cool thing about Nurgle Orks is that they're very rare because the biology of an orc is just built to fight off diseases like that. So Nurgle's rot, it does affect orcs, but it very, very rarely. And when that, like Nurgle's rot does pop into a like a tribe, like a orc tribe, usually what happens is that the other orcs begin to like get rid of it by killing that orc, making sure that its spores don't reproduce, and then the biology itself. So like if the spores go out after that Nurgle orc is dead, they just don't really grow because it's like the genetic thing that the old ones put in there knows like, no, do not continue this. But yeah,
that just goes to show you how genetically modified and built for war orcs are like made for.
Yep.
So like if you do put in like biological warfare, orcs are built to handle that.
Yeah, the poisoning an orc is very difficult. They can kind of take it all.
Yeah.
Their biology is that way.
Is there like half fungus, half like animal?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a lichen.
Not the werewolf, right?
No, it's like it's not a fungus, but it's something else. But it's in the same like
family or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
What I want to know is, do they have cell walls or don't they?
They do have cell walls, so they're like plants.
Nice.
Are plants the only ones that have cell walls?
They should, because that's how they retain their water. Because the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Exactly. Yeah, good question.
Yeah. This one is by a Russian name that I am unable to pronounce. I speak Orc, a little bit Spanish, but sorry, Russian escapes me at times. His question is, does Isha sell soul stones by the Empyrean seashore?
That's a good question. And no.
Yeah, because she's trapped in the gardens of Nurgle, so she can't go to the Empyrean seashore. But Sally does sell seashells by the seashore.
If you check out the mythology of Isha, because like the mythology says that Isha created the spirit stones for the Eldar, and that's how the Eldar can like live forever, basically. Yeah, like their souls get entrapped into this stone, and then the stone becomes the infinity circuit, and then it's just like it's what is it called? They like an AI, but like of old Eldar. But if you believe that the old ones were the Eldar gods, then it's like some, Eldar or some old one that created some type of way for Eldar to continue to live forever, which was the whole point of like the War in Heaven. Well, kind of like the Necron tier fought the old ones because they wanted to live forever, and that goes to show you that the old ones did know how to make something or make it a race live forever. Yeah, which is why they gave that to the Eldar.
Right, which kind of sucks because like the Necron tier, like they only lived like 40 years and they had like cancer, so it's like, why couldn't the old ones just like trade technology or something like that?
Yeah, which I think part of it is that it's supposed to show that it was all fake. Like if the old ones were just giving away that knowledge to the Eldar, why wouldn't they give it to the Necron tier? But then you remember that they were trying to repair the War of Secession within the dynasties of the Necron tier. So the old ones weren't really necessarily. The war didn't happen because they weren't sharing that. It was because they wanted to unify.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the War in Heaven is really interesting and like political and.
It is. Cool. Like I really wish there was more on the War in Heaven.
Yeah. To the level of sometimes Horus Heresy.
Oh, I would love that.
Mm-hmm. Next question. This one comes from Malik's Plays. Do you think Crusades are the perfect army for the tabletop? Or, sorry, do you think Custodes are the perfect army for the tabletop? Not too big, every unit is a tank, easy to learn, and looks awesome. Also, Space Marines is on Xbox and Steam also.
So to answer the second part first, because it's the quicker answer, yeah, you guys left me a bunch of comments that, yeah, the game Space Marine is indeed on Steam, as well as like PS3 and Xbox and stuff like that. So it's definitely a contender to appear on the channel, maybe.
Hopefully, do a whole walkthrough.
Yeah, but Vermintide 2 also seems pretty good. And then you have just like a slew of like B- games, like. They got like chess, 40K chess, and all these phone games and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then we got that one that looks really interesting that's coming out next year, which is like a horror first-person shooter. Yeah.
We have what's that one?
It's the one you reacted to, remember? Like they didn't show any gameplay; it was just like a teaser trailer.
Yeah. Well, there's also another one for Necromunda.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of ads for that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, to answer your first question, the Adeptus Custodes, I do not think they are the perfect tabletop army for two reasons. One, they're very elite, and that means less models, which on the plus side is, yeah, less things to memorize, less things to keep track of in your head. But playing such a small army, you're easily going to get outnumbered, especially in editions where you got to like take and hold objectives, because you're not going to have a very large model count, and losing a few models is going to hurt bad. So you almost have to be really good strategically to overcome that detriment.
Yeah. And I don't really think they look that great either.
Yeah, their helmets I just never really liked.
Mm-hmm.
But they lore-wise, they're supposed to be the best of the best, stronger than Space Marines. Like they protect the Emperor and whatnot. So lore-wise, like, they're great. But on the tabletop, they're getting better with what 9th edition has to offer. Like they're tougher. Stratagem-wise, there's a lot you can do. So they are getting better. But I don't think they're the pinnacle of tabletop armies that you could be playing.
I feel like they are good for an experienced player who knows how to choose like the objectives and what type of game.
Yeah. Because
like you were saying, because it's so elite, if you're trying to go all over the map, you just can't. You don't have enough models to actually do that. Or you'll spread your army too thin, and then that's how you lose. So it's really up to the experienced player to take that army and actually make it competitive.
Yeah, target priority.
Fun. Yeah. Because like if you played custodians, if you played them and you just lost every single match, eventually you're just like, yeah, no, I'm done with this. Yeah.
That's how I am with 40K. I've lost every game, but I still keep coming back. When will I break?
Never. Next question.
This one is by The Big One. What is the Terminus Decree? What is it saying? What does it mean that the Emperor must die in order to be reborn?
The Terminus Decree, I don't really remember.
Wasn't it like the thing that the Grey Knights have, that like if everything goes to crap, like this is the one thing that's gonna like be their saving grace?
Ah, okay.
Yeah, there's very little actually on it. But like whatever it is like it's got to be something huge, because this is like the Pandora's box. Like you only open it when like there's nothing, like all other options have been, used and there's no hope left. Yeah, but yeah, you're probably right. It's probably is like a reset on the Emperor, like he comes back or something.
Yeah. Next question comes from Professional Nasty. If you were writing the lore and one of the Chaos Gods was set to die, which one would you give the axe and why?
That's interesting. I wouldn't say Slanesh because having one of the other Chaos Gods die means more of the spotlight would be on Slanesh. More models, more lore, because I feel like that's the one Chaos God that gets the least amount of love. And that's all Slanesh wants, just some love.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have to say probably Khorne, because I feel like it's the most basic.
Yeah, I was gonna go with the same one, Khorne, just because. Yep, it's like a demon. There's demons all over the place, so like might as well just spend that extra time on one of the minor or one of the other Chaos Gods, and then Khorne could just become like a supplement to the other three.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the 4 are really good too.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't change it now, but I'd just say give us more Slanesh love.
Mm-hmm. And then when you look at the special Chaos Space Marines pertaining to each individual Chaos God, I think the Khorne Berserkers are like, eh.
I mean, on the tabletop, they're beasts, man.
Yeah.
Like, you could give them up to like 4 attacks plus a stratagem that lets them attack again. They're really good. And now with the update to Space Marines getting 2 wounds, they're going to be that much more tougher.
Yeah, but this is like the look is just like it's just the evil
spiky.
Yeah,
They're literally spiky Marines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question.
Professional nasty. If the 2 of you traveled to the realm of Slanesh, how far do you think you guys would get?
Where are the foot jobs?
That's
where I would stop.
Like, oh, you had me up until here. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. I think I hear my mom calling me. Probably like a minute in, because they don't call me Minuteman Sound Alchemist for nothing. Because once I'm done, it's like,
go home.
Why stay here?
This next question comes from Isaac Langdon. Why didn't the Emperor take over during the Republic? Because the whole purpose of the Emperor taking over was because he saw humanity was just going to completely die out. So he was like, okay, so they can't handle their own thing. Let me step in. But from the very beginning, he has always been very hands-off. Like, he just wants humanity to progress, and he's slowly been, like, helping them. But his role was never to be the Emperor, essentially, until he was.
Which just goes to show you that, like, if humanity can't really keep it going themselves, like, why even, try to push them in the right direction if they're just going to mess it up?
Mm-hmm. It's a lost cause. Next question.
This one is by Josie Morrison. Have you guys played the Warhammer 40K Inquisitor game on Xbox yet? Thoughts on all Warhammer video games? Are they worth buying for 40K geeks? So I haven't played that specific one. I've seen the trailers for it. Like, it probably has one of the best trailers where it shows like the Astra Militarum fighting against that like huge Nurgle demon, the Plague Bearers, the Plague Guard. Like, that's really great animation.
Yeah.
But when it comes to gameplay, I feel like most 40K games are severely lacking. It's like whenever a new 40K game gets like unveiled, it's just like, oh, it's another like play it once and forget about it game.
Yep.
Except for
Dawn of War.
Dawn of War. Those games definitely are probably the best of what 40K has to offer in terms of video game. Real-time strategy. It's basically like you're playing the tabletop game on like a computer, and it's like grander scale, and like the battles are more epic.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely those are definitely the best. Then I'd say Space Marine for the PS3. Then maybe Deathwing, because I did play that like once or twice, but it just I can't.
What didn't you like about it?
It felt clunky. I thought like the graphics could have been better because it was on PS4.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like a PS3 type game, but I don't know. Maybe I needed to play it longer in order for me to enjoy it, but yeah, I don't know.
It just seemed like it was just like, okay, gene stealers, let's kill them.
Yeah.
I think I already forgot what I was gonna say. When it comes to video games, and like if you are a 40K geek, you could just invest that time on the actual like painting and building and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I have not been that active with video games, especially 40K video games, because it's like the game's gonna make me want to go and build and paint, so I might as well just do that and just ignore the...
I think that might be what GW is thinking. It's like, let's give them this like free phone game that they'll play, and they'll be like, oh, I'm playing as a Imperial Knight.
Yeah.
And that's gonna make the people saying, well, let me go buy an Imperial Knight and do what I'm doing in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely good to get people interested and get people like animated about the tabletop. But based on like the comments that we get on our channel, a lot of you guys don't even play the tabletop, which is interesting.
Yeah, a lot of you guys just like model or collect or just paint.
Or just read. You guys
the
read
lore.
the Black Library stuff, which is interesting. I just think it's like now Games Workshop is everywhere. Like it has fans from all over the place. It's not just the tabletop.
Yeah, that's really cool, because now you got like Marvel teaming up to make comics. You got Warhammer Monopoly, Warhammer Risk.
Yeah.
Where's the Warhammer lingerie line at?
That's what we're waiting for.
Bridget B.
Yep. This question comes from Ancient Chuck. If the Primarchs had a powerlifting competition, who would win? Probably Vulcan.
Yeah, Vulcan seems to be the biggest, the strongest.
As long as, like, Lorgar doesn't cheat by using sorceress powers, or Magnus, obviously. Magnus was a big guy.
Pretty big, yeah.
Next question.
Matias Rivero. Have humans and orcs ever fought on the same side of a battle?
Yes.
Yeah. Especially when you have, like, the Atra Militarum and, like, Yarick. Sometimes they have to team up to fight, like, against the common enemy or whatever.
Yeah, you're always gonna see. It's gonna be a specific type of clan. It's a blood axes, and they're the very like militarized. They're the least orky orcs. So they have a lot of storm boys. So they like a lot of marching, and they actually care about resources and all that kind of stuff. And that's when they do make deals with certain. What are they called? Rogue traders.
Yep.
That, and then also the freebooters. Those are like the pirate orcs.
Kind of like mercenaries.
But then whenever there's an alliance like that, eventually the orc is just going to turn around and betray humanity. As it should. Next question. This one comes from Ty Shingleton. Are the Watchers in the Dark helping the Dark Angels or the Fallen?
Yes.
I think they're helping the Dark Angels, not the Fallen.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure. I had a theory too about it's recent, about these guys, the Watchers. I think they're
like Ewoks.
Yeah. But I think they're a specific type of like entity. I don't know, I'll have to do a 40 facts video on them.
Probably
again.
like murciélagos or something like that.
They're probably just bats, yeah.
Kodojo. Who's older, the Emperor of Mankind or the 4 Chaos Gods? Well, the Chaos Gods are supposed to be timeless, but that's not necessarily true, because you have births for these gods. Like, obviously, Slanesh was birthed when the Eldar came to the pinnacle of their height, and they gave in to ecstasy and lust and all that. So obviously, at that time, a god was birthed, but they're supposed to be timeless, so it's wishy-washy.
Yeah. But I do think that the Emperor came after the Chaos Gods. In terms of like the basic timeline of like just existence.
Right.
But yeah.
In terms of basics, but not big brain.
Right. Think little brain, which is the human brain. Next question comes from Digital Sigma. Considering dreadnoughts seem very top-heavy, if one was to fall on its back, how would it manage to get back up on its feet? Or would it just flail around like a helpless turtle? I think we talked about this last week.
They're able to get back up because of the way of like ball joints and pivots. But yeah, it does seem like they're very boxy and top-heavy, but they can do it.
Yep.
It's kind of like seeing a toddler or a baby stand up for the first time.
But if that baby or toddler had like freak strength and like did some craziness after he got up.
So like a regular toddler.
You like murder like 10 orcs.
Like a regular toddler.
Exactly, yeah. And then last question, do you got one?
This one is by Angel Warrior 28. Is there anywhere in the lore that suggests or gives any hint as to what the home planet of the Old Ones was and what they called themselves as a race?
No.
Yeah. It's implied, speculated, theorized that they're like the Slan from the Age of Sigmar. I was going to say Skaven, but no, they're the lizard men.
Yep.
So they're like toady, squatty.
But then there are other ones that say that they were it was not just one race, but it was a bunch of them.
Yeah, conglomeration. Kind of like the... Oh, I forgot what it was.
Conclave?
The Cabal.
Oh, the Cabal. Yeah. So yeah.
No, yeah.
And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
This has been the Sound Alchemist.
Gershwin.
And we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.